Hello and welcome to this Draw with Chris live stream for May 16th, 2015. This episode is brought to you by Mastering Head Drawing. So Mastering Head Drawing is a online class that I'll be teaching this summer term. It's a fully structured head drawing focused online class. It's the first of its kind. It's an 8-week class. There's going to be 3-hour lectures, 3-hour per week lectures, demos. You're going to get homework assignments every week, and you're going to get live feedback, critique, and Q&A with me. So you're going to have a lot of interaction with me. I'll be able to look at your work to guide you through the homework and through the process. And if you're new to this channel, if you're new to my work, this drawing here on the right, this is an example of one of my longer finished drawings. It's done in charcoal. This class will be more focused on the sketch portion, basically the foundation to get to longer, polished, high-quality drawings. And if you want more information, just head on over to the URL. It's freshdesigner.com/courses/head-drawing-class, and the URL will also be in the description below. And there you can read all the information about the class, course schedule, and the course outline, the materials, and then you can see some more samples of my work. And if you're new to me, I'm not some random YouTube guy. I'm actually a professional artist. I'm a concept designer and a transitioning into a fine art gallery painting career. I teach professionally in a live classroom here in Los Angeles at some of the top schools in LA. Such as No Mount School, Three Kicks Studio, and I've been drawing and studying with some of the top guys in LA for a long time. But that's enough about me. Just head on over to the website and you can read all about it. So let's get on with the class today. Okay, the topic of today's live stream is what I call smart observation. And this is one of the core components to the head drawing classes. I want to share my thoughts and my processes on how to see, how to correctly observe, because I feel that's the one thing that's missing from every drawing tutorial or drawing video or online, especially online, and especially even in person, is really the ability to see correctly. Because if you can't see correctly, you can't draw correctly. So in this video, I'm going to share what I call the introduction to smart observation. We're going to talk about how and what to observe when looking at the model before you begin a drawing. And I'm also going to do a quick sketch demo just to show you my process and kind of give you an idea of the kind of material we'll go over in the class. Okay, so I'm at the life drawing session here. I'm about to do some homework, about to do some drawing. And the first thing I want to do when making observation, and I broke it down into 3 steps. So the first thing I do, and I think this is probably the most important step, is to actually take the time to look. Just stop, breathe, chill, take a deep breath. Take a few moments to actually look at the damn thing, It's funny how this step is often overlooked, including myself. I even have to catch myself. So just take a moment, take a look at the model, take the time to breathe it in, to absorb the visual information, everything that the model gives you. Just stop, look, and think. That's the important part. We want to think. We want to use our brains, and we want to take the time to ask intelligent questions. That's what you want to be going through in your mind in your first observation. So what are some of the questions you may ask? Well, the obvious question is it male? Is it female? Okay, we have a male. And then the question, is it young? Is it Is the model old? Are they lean? Is their face chiseled? Are they have a chubby face, a rounded face? So kind of get to know a little bit about the model's type, before you draw. So in this case, we have a young male. He looks fairly young. My guess is 20s. Then he's definitely lean, has a chiseled face. You can tell by his body that he's lean. And he's slightly looking one way. The pose is going one way, but the head is going the other. And there's a slight three-quarter to it. So yeah, even this simple step is often overlooked, but it's very important. So now I have an idea of okay, in my drawing I have to convey 1, male, 2, young, athletic, 3, chiseled, lean face with visible bone structure, visible anatomy. So right away I know those 3 ideas I have to communicate in my drawing. Okay, now step 2, we want to begin to analyze the actual graphic nature of the shape. And what I like to do is first ask, what is the top, bottom, and sides? What is the top, bottom, and sides? So on our model here, I'm looking at his head here. I want to look at the shape of his head, just isolating his head, and what of this shape that I see in my mind's eye, what is the top of the shape, the bottom, and the side? So here's the top of his head shape, this little peak of his crown right here. The bottom is right here, this point of his jaw and his chin right here. The sides, the left side is where his eye and that cheekbone is. That's the leftmost side. The rightmost side is right behind the ear, where his ear intersects with the back of his skull. So what is the top, bottom, and sides? And also, you want to get an idea for the actual gesture in the movement, right? So I know right away this pose is going this way. The body's going this way, but the head is turning this way. And I also want to note how much do I see? I clearly see some of the front and some of the side, which is a 3/4 pose. So right away I know I have to communicate 3/4 looking this way. Excuse me, a little bit of front and some of the side. And these are the extremities, and these are important for the next step. Okay, the next step is, what is the 2D graphic shape? Meaning, what is the best shape that can describe my my model here in this pose? And there's only really 3 shapes we can use: box, triangle, and circle. And everything else is a variation. Box can be long rectangle, wide rectangle. Triangle can be thin rectangle, can be curved or arced. Circle can obviously be ovals, right? So what is the best graphic shape? Now, probably you can use all 3 of these for this model, but the key here is to make a good decision. And what I do to make the correct decision, what I feel is the best decision, is first I have to look back to the answers to my first observation questions. Is A, who is this model, right? Young, male, athletic, lean, chiseled face, visible anatomy. B, what is it doing? Gestures moving one way, body's moving one way, head is turned the other way, 3/4 pose. And then next, what are the tops and the sides? And right away, when I see the top here, the bottom here, and these 2 sides, right away I'm thinking box, and I'm going to draw this box right now. And so you see that I'm just kind of ignoring some of this anatomy, kind of bringing this top over to this corner, kind of doing a gesture. These are all gestural marks to create this box. And the reason why I feel box is the best quality is the best choice, the best graphic shape, is because this is a young, athletic, lean male. Look at the cut jaw. Look at the chiseled cheek, the chiseled brow, right? And right away, when I see a cut jaw like this, generally a box works the best. So a box communicates better the idea of a male, a masculine, athletic, chiseled male versus a circular shape, right? And I think the triangle is close, but doesn't quite give us that volume that we want, that feeling of maybe impart the feeling of a stability that we want, that four sides will give us. So those are the three questions that I'm asking, and kind of go through the process there. Now let's take a look at some more examples. Okay, here we have a female. So let's, we're at the life drawing. She just changed the pose, so let's take a moment to absorb what we're looking at. Take a moment to actually think before we draw. Okay, just breathe, just chill. Okay, what do we got? Okay, obvious question: male or female? We have a female. Is she young? Is she old? Is she lean? Is she chubby, round, or square? Okay, so female, obviously young. My guess is 20s-ish. And she's very lean as well, judging by her body and her face as well. Look at the cut visible jaw, the defined cheekbone structure there. That point of the nose, right? Nose has a point to it. So this is a young female in her 20s, lean, and she's kind of turning her head towards us and covering her face with just her arms. So even though I'm not going to draw her arms or draw the pose, I kind of want to get an idea for what the pose is doing as well. The body's going one way, the neck is going another way, but the head is turning towards us. So there's a little bit of a dynamic gesture, a little bit of tension there that we can add in our drawing. And also, we can imply some of the acting in the pose. So right away, beyond just the visible, I also want to inject some story and life. And answering these questions is how we begin the process of injecting a little bit of life, a little bit of character into your drawing, other than just a mindless robotic copy. Okay, this is how we get our drawings to have that deeper impact, that deeper visceral impact. All right. And then question two. Question two is, what is the best graphic shape? Okay, so question two is, what are the tops, what are the sides, what are the bottom? So right away, I see the top here, the bottom here, and bottom of the chin. There's a little bit hidden by the arm, because I want to make the decision of which graphic shape to use, right? Remember, we can only choose box, triangle, or circle. So I'm just going to look at the extremities first, and then make my decision. Top is here, bottom is here, right side is here. The back side is right about here. It's a little bit through the hair. I'm going to ignore this stuff for now. Okay, top, bottom, side. So I can go a few ways now, actually. Now, I could choose square. I could easily choose square. Some kind of hybrid square like that. Or I can even choose triangle. Now, triangle has a lot of speed, has a lot of movement, right? Has a lot of velocity. Circle, because she's a female, and generally females have a softer feelings, at least visually, a softer, curvier, round feeling. Male is generally visually has a hard, rigid feeling to it. So I could go box. So what I'm going to do is possibly do a combination of square and triangle. And that's one of the things, too, I'm going to cover in the course is how and when to use hybrid shapes. And I think, yeah, I think this is the best decision right here. I'm going to the gesture of the front of the face here. Gesture the top of the head like that. Gesture in the back. Gesture. So I'm kind of making a compromise. I'm using a little bit of a box, a little bit of a triangle, and also adding curves instead of being so straight. So it's a bit of a compromise, and I think that's the best decision. That's the best graphic shape I can use to start my drawing. Okay. So that's some examples of observation step. Now I'm going to go through a quick little demonstration, kind of go through my head drawing process here. So we're back at the life drawing session. We just got a homework assignment, or maybe we're drawing just for fun and we want to practice. So the male just got in this pose. We got 3 minutes left. Oh, and by the way, the class will be more traditional focused. I'm using a computer here, obviously, for presentation's sake. So I'm over here at the life drawing session. It's a 3-minute pose. The male got in this pose. Oh, and actually, too, I want to mention that I forgot to mention that the reference you see here is from the New Masters Academy YouTube page. They post some beautiful reference videos that people can practice with. So I highly recommend you check out their YouTube page, and their link will be in the description below as well. Okay, so we're checking out our model. Let's take the time to, let's take a deep breath. Let's chill. Let's maybe get a little bit loose, and let's take the time to look and absorb and see what we got. Actually, let me do another one. Might be better. Yeah, let's do this one. We already went over the observations there. Okay, let's see what we got here. So, okay, we have a male, young male, chiseled male, lean, muscular. He's fairly athletic. Let's see. We have Anglo-Saxon-ish bone structure. He could possibly be mixed, actually. But judging by the shape of his nose, that he has some Anglo-Saxon or Caucasian descent. So right away, I want to communicate that idea. I want to communicate gender, some racial bone structure qualities, age, and also the general type: lean, chiseled face with angular face. Okay, so right away I'm going to communicate that. And then the next step is, what is it doing? Let's take the time to really think about what it's doing before we draw. So I see the gesture moving this way, the body's moving one way. There's a beautiful curve here in his back muscle. The head is going along with the gesture, kind of in this way, a gesture of the body, but the head is clearly turned this way and pointing down. So that's one of the huge things we have to look at, is the actual angle. How much of the face we see and which way the model is gazing. And right away I know I have a three-quarter view. We see some front, we see some side looking down. So right away I know gestural pose, dynamic tension, body going one way, head turned the other way, head looking down, three-quarter, meaning we're going to see a lot of the top plane right here, top plane. So all these decisions are going on in my mind. Just I haven't even touched my drawing pad. So that's really the message that I'm trying to get across. Really take the time to think, observe, ask these questions, before you draw, and you will make much better decisions when you draw. Okay, so that's my initial observation. What's the general type of model I'm looking at, type of head, and what is it doing? Next, what are the extremities? Looking at the graphic shape of this, just isolating the head and looking at its graphic nature. I see the top will be close to the back of his head here. The bottom will be the bottom point of his chin. The sides will be this right side. The left will be this left side. Okay. So this actually leaves me with a few choices. Remember, we only have square, triangle, or circle to work with. And I know right away I'm not going to use circle, because circle doesn't communicate as much as I want it to. Young chiseled male. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and that's question 3, is what is the best graphic shape? So I'm going to go up here. Just draw that gesture up. Draw this gesture here. Draw this gesture here from the back of the head to this point right here, the top. It's behind his hair and this way. So I'm going to use a hybrid shape. I'm going to use a hybrid shape because I wanted to get the boxy notion, the male, this boxy, box, male, box, but I also wanted to get the gesture, the movement, looking down, looking away, giving us this point. And this point adds that velocity. Remember I said triangles have a lot of velocity, a lot of speed. So that point is giving us that velocity that I want, that gesture, that movement that I want. So that's the best shape I'm going to use for my drawing. So I made my observations. Now I'm ready to draw. So right away, I'm going to draw my graphic shape. So I already made the decisions that I'm going to make. And now I'm just trying to draw the graphic shape. I want to make sure I get the gesture right. Okay. Next, I want to describe what the model's doing. So that comes with the crosshairs. Is it looking down? How much face do we see? This is a 3/4, so I have to communicate that. I need to know how much of the front we're going to communicate, the front plane of the face. Okay. Next, so this is my 2D idea, my 2D structure. Next, I want to go into the 3D realm and begin to do simple box modeling. And I'm going to cover this as well in the class. Going from 2D to 3D, next I want to start to convey the major planes, the essential planes. And I'm going to basically construct the features using low poly models, low poly shapes, boxes, spheres, triangular shapes, hybrid shapes. So there's my shape, my low poly box shape. Next, let's start to place some rhythms. And I think just from my experience alone, my initial placement is pretty good. I've been drawing a long time, but if I needed, I can plot some essential rhythms. Like I love this rhythm from the ear. So I think many students understand the concept of rhythms, but they just get way too polluted. And what really a rhythm is, to me, is just a way to place things using gesture. So again, if you can see it correctly, you'll be able to know which rhythms to use, which rhythms to leave out, make you more efficient and make your drawing cleaner and more attractive, obviously. And of course, this is already looking like a big liney mess. That's because I'm drawing in the computer. In traditional, this class will be using Conte or Carbatello pencil, so we'll be able to draw much, much, much lighter. Even if you draw in pen, if you see some of the videos here, you'll notice I draw in pen. It's extremely light. But of course, for the sake of this video, I want to make my lines a little bit darker. Okay, so this is really my initial construction there. Give myself a little bit of the body, a little bit of the gesture. Neck and shoulders, a big part of it. I got the good 2D shape I'm happy with. Now comparing the distances and looking at this distance there. Again, it's more correct observation. I felt a lot better comparing distances. Pretty much it. Now the next step would be to do some shading. And I'm going to drop this opacity, pretend like it's a cleaner drawing underneath. So now I'm going to do some shading, and all that means is really is to separate the shadow and begin some foremodeling. Because we need light and shadow to completely describe the form. That's what realists need. We can't describe form without shadow. So fortunately, this pose has a good clean light and shadow pattern. So as you know, I always harp about that. I have an article on my website about that. And he has some stubble on his chin. I'm making the decision not to darken the top plane, or to group the top plane with the shadow. Very careful here to exaggerate some overlaps. And I'm also going to get into how to handle difficult poses like this in the class. Takes some skill. It takes a little bit more thought to handle up shots, down shots, and side views. Okay, well, looks pretty good to me. And this style of sketch rendering is what I call it. Illustrative shading. I learned, it's derived from Riley method drawing, which I learned here in LA. So if you're interested in Riley style drawing, getting instruction on it, this would be a good class for you. Okay, so I blocked in my shape. Now I'm going to mass in the shadow. Blocked in my shadow shape. Just going to mass it in. Basically, give it a tone so it separates from light and shadow. And that'll complete the first stage. I probably, took a little bit over 3 minutes, maybe around 4 minutes for this. That's pretty much it for this drawing. And I can refine. This is where long drawings begin. Long finished, high quality drawings begin. Finished illustrations begin. Is designing a good head, a good structure, a good foundation, and then beginning the light and shadow rendering process. This is where it begins. It begins with first a good drawing, and then a nice clean separation description of the light and shadow. And of course, we're going to cover that as well. So that's pretty much it for this guy. And then, if you're at the life drawing, if you get this far, if you have more time, of course, you want to, then you can refine your drawing as much as possible. Now is the time to come in and add details and things, but I won't get too detailed in this one because I hate drawing in Photoshop, number one. God, I never liked drawing the tablet. It is good for making videos, though, that's for sure. Okay. All right. So that wraps up the little demo. So that's it for this episode. I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some value out of it. If you like this video and if you like my work, check out my Mastering Head Drawing class. It's beginning this month, actually, in May. And it's an 8-week, fully structured, head drawing focused online class. It's the first of its kind. And yeah, it's going to be weekly lectures, weekly homework assignments, and live Q&A, feedback and review interaction with the instructor. That's me. So you're going to get, and there's also going to be a bonus Q&A period in the middle of the week. So you can have a lot of time to have your work looked at. I'm going to check out your work at the end of each week to make sure you go over the assignment, and also in the middle of the week, I'm including a bonus Q&A period just to keep you on track. So there's a lot of information. It's an information-packed class, and there's a lot of value packed into this class. So to learn more, just head to the URL freshdesigner.com/courses/head-drawing-class, or you can click the URL in the link below. Okay, so that's it for today. That's it for this episode. And until next time, take care.